Here we go. Court is back in session. Next case is cause number 331856. Case is style State of Texas versus Wadrano Jorge Cuato. Mr. Cuato, would you please come forward? It's been brought to the court's attention that Mr. Cuato speaks Spanish, and we have our Spanish interpreter, Ms. Araji. Ms. Araji, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Araji, do you swear or affirm to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Araji, could you ask Mr. Cuato if his name is Wadrano Jorge Cuato?
Su nombre es Jorge Cuato. Yes.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. Cuato?
¿Cómo estás? Good.
Mr. Cuato, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendant Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Es documento, si lo puedes hacer documento, si lo puedes hacer documento que te mando. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Cuato, I also have another document before me that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Lo puedes hacer documento que te mando. Y una forma.
Now, on both of these documents, there's a signature. Now, Mr. Cuato, is this your signature on the bottom of judge's explanation, defendant's rights without attorney?
¿Esa es su firma ahí completa? Ahí abajo. Yes.
And are these your initials on the line stating you want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Sí, sus iniciales. Yes.
And on the affidavit of indigence, there's a signature on the second page titled defendant's signature. Is this your signature?
También es su firma ahí. Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Cuato, before you signed and initialed these documents, did Ms. Araji, who is our interpreter, go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Antes de firmar ese documento, sí te explicó todo bien. Yes.
And did you understand everything that she went over?
And sí entendiste todo. Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Y todos los documentos están verdad. Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Kyoto, are you a U.S. citizen?
¿Eres ciudadano? No.
Okay. Let me do this here. What country?
Mexico.
He's from Mexico? Mandatory. Okay. All right. We're gonna have to go over, Mr. Roger, could you go over this here document? I think it's the first part. We didn't, just have a seat at the table. We'll be in recess. Yeah, this is cause number 331536. Your name is Darren Watson, is that correct? Mr. Watson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Watson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Watson, you may put your hand down. Mr. Watson, I have two documents before me. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of the Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials on the line saying you want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Watson, I also have a document before me that's titled affidavit of indigence. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Watson, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant's signature. Is that your signature? Now, Mr. Watson, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, Mr. Watson, I read your affidavit of indigence. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. An attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Langston Adams. Mr. Watson, you're gonna stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator, and she'll give you the information on how to contact your attorney. He'll be giving the information on how to contact you. Here you go. Next case is cause number 331900, Jakiria Scott. Your full name is Jakiria Scott? Ms. Scott, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Scott, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Scott, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Scott, I have before me 2 documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Scott, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that's titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant
Yes,
signature?
sir.
Ms. Scott, did you read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best you know?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Scott, I read your answers. You meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. The attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Terrence Allison. Ms. Scott, you're going to have a seat in that chair behind that gentleman that has the black and yellow tape. Just go have a seat, and then once you finish there, she's going to ask you to come to the window, and she'll give you a reset on your case with your attorney information, and you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Watson, once you finish, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. Okay. Y'all finished with it? Okay. And we court is back in session in cause number 331856, case style state of Texas versus Medrano Jorge Cueto. Now, Mr. Cueto, I have before me a document that is titled for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Mr. Cueto, do you understand? Do you recognize this document?
Sí, lo puedo hacer, ese documento que firmas. Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled signature?
Y esa es su firma completa.
Now, Mr. Cueto, before you signed this document, did Mr. Raji, our Spanish interpreter, go over this document with you in Spanish?
Antes de firmar ese documento, sí te explico todo lo que digo.
And did you understand everything that she went over?
Okay, sí, entendiste lo que digo. Sí.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Y todo está de verdad. Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Cueto, you state that you do not want us to notify the consular officers at this time. Is that correct?
Que dijiste que no quería que nos notificara como consular, ¿verdad? Yes.
Okay. I think you're gonna have to sign where it says witness.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cueto. Just raise your right hand.
Vamos para la mano derecha.
Mr. Cueto, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Que te lo voy a decir la verdad, todo de verdad.
Now, Mr. Cueto, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. I also have a document that's titled for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries, and also have a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Now, each one of these documents, do you recognize each one of these documents?
Los documentos que firmaste, sí, de acuerdo.
And before you signed and initial each one of these documents, did Mr. Raji go over these documents with you?
Antes de firmar los documentos, sí te explicó todo bien.
And did you understand everything Mr. Raji went over?
En que sí entendiste. Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Y todo que está apuntado en esta ¿verdad? Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Kyoto, based on your answers in the affidavit of indigence, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And your attorney that will be appointed to represent you is Attorney Charles Rojas. Okay. He's gonna be next to go to the window, just tell him to have a seat, and when he finished there, he'll be free to go and have a blessed day. Pedro Godinez. This is cause number 331870. Case is style of state of Texas versus Pedro Godinez. Mr. Godinez, is that your full name? Mr. Godinez, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Godinez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Godinez, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Godinez? Mr. Godinez, I have before me two documents. Hello, Mr. Godinez. Mr. Bailey, make one copy for me so we can get it again. Now, Mr. Godinez, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants Without an Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that cited defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you want to apply for court-appointed attorney? I also have before me a document that's cited affidavit of indigence. Do you recognize this document? You have to speak up.
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a signature on the line that's titled defendant signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Godinez, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, now, Mr. Godinez, you meet the eligibility requirements of a court-appointed attorney. The attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Don Boudreaux. Okay? Also, Mr. Godinez, you've just been handed a copy of the standard bond conditions in County Court Law Number 2. You have been charged with a DWI second. We say it's a subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 49.06. Now, I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 3 does not apply. However, condition number 4 does apply because this is a subsequent offense listed under section 49.01, 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code. And condition number 4 reads, a defendant who has been arrested or accused of any subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes impractical the operation of the vehicle if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator. And said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before the 10th day after, we're gonna say after today. And Mr. Godinez, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you you gotta get an intoxilizer on any vehicle that you own and an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, right? You have 10 days to do that. And you need to provide proof to the court. You can bring it to the court, bring it up to the court, the proof that you have it within the next 10 days. Now, if that door is locked, then you're gonna go through the blue doors that's next door here. And there's a lady behind the window, and she'll call the court and we'll come out and get a copy of the proof showing that you have an interlock device on your vehicle, and that's gonna be part of your file. Now, you failure to do that, or if you violate any one of the conditions of this probation, your bond can be revoked and you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here's his bond conditions. Mr. Godinez, again, your attorney is Don Boudreaux. Just stand in front of our court coordinator, and she's gonna give you the information on how to contact your attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Porter, could you get us to the prosecutors? These are the. Oh, here's another. Yeah. Jakira McCauley. Is that Jacory McCauley? Oh, I'm doing fine. How you doing, Mr. McCauley? Mr. McCauley, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. McCauley, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCauley, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. McCauley, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCauley, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating that you like to have your case reset so you can hire your own attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. McCauley, our court coordinator is going to reset your case. And once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And you're going to sit in that chair that had that black and yellow tape. Once you finish with this gentleman, you're going to go to the window. And once you finish at the window, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Court is in session and cause numbers 326-114, cause number 326-116, and cause number 330-978. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Brandy Coulthorne. Ms. Coulthorne, is that correct? How you doing, Ms. Coulthorne? I'm doing fine. Ms. Coulthorne, you're here represented by your attorney, Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. The state is represented by attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good job.
Mr. Burbank, what's your announcement in Ms. Coulthorne's cases?
She has a pending felony in criminal district court that she had court this morning on. It has been reset to June 1st. Prior to that day, I anticipate that that will be taken care of and will be dispositive of these cases. So we ask that be reset to June 1st, along with the felony.
State, you have any objections?
No objection.
Okay, we're gonna reset your cases, Ms. Coulthorne, to June 1st, along with your felony cases. Your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Burbank, this is the last case, so you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too, Judge.
You are.
Free to go. Yeah, I'll call you as soon as
Catherine Cormier or Cormier? Ms. Cormier, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Now, Miss, you can put your hand up. Do you pronounce your last name Cormier or Cormier?
It's Cormier, but I say Cormier.
Is Cormier?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Cormier, how are you doing?
Good.
That's good. Ms. Cormier, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Defendants Without Attorney. Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line that's titled, I want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Cormier, I have another document before me. This document is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Ms. Cormier, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant Signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Cormier, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cormier, matter of fact, is Tom Burbank still out there? Okay. Ms. Cormier, I read your affidavit of indigence based on your answers. You meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney, and the attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you in this case is attorney Tom Burbank. Actually, that was the gentleman who just left. Mr. Burbank is going to be given notice that he's appointed to represent you. You're going to be given information on how to contact him. You're going to stand on the X in front of our court coordinator so that she can give you that information. And once she gives you that information, Ms. Cormier, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. There you go. Yes. Did I give you the other page on there? You got it.
You can see the TCS.